Hi and welcome to ZoomTV, the show where we explore everything that flies, drives and floats and invite you along for the experience. Well, on today's show, Allan checks out the brand new Toyota Tarago, which was one of the original Mum's taxis.
Because it's a people mover doesn't mean you have to be without all the luxuries.
Well, most of us know what SUV means, sports utility vehicle, but do you know what SSUV means? Well, today, thanks to John Hughes, I'm going to show you. But don't let first impressions fool you. There's much more to this car than meets the eye. Thanks to Asander, I head to New South Wales and catch up with the Paul Wakeling Motor Group.
We aim for consistency, and I guess that comes back down to having the best staff.
And our Asander Celebrity Hitchhiker today is one of the stars from Packed to the Rafters, George Houvardas. What is the car that you currently drive now?
Prado.
There you go.
Yeah, Prado.
The man.
Black.
So get ready, get comfortable, kick back the lazy boy, because it's time for ZoomTV.
The term people mover hasn't really excited us in the past. In fact, most of the offerings were nothing more than tents on wheels, very slow tents. But none of those was a Toyota. None of those had a powerful 3.5-litre V6 engine. None of those was the all-new Toyota Tarago Ultima. Yes, with 7 people and the bric-a-brac of everyday life crammed on board, you could barely get some of the other people movers to move. But Toyota has changed all that. And how? It's not a sports car, of course, but it doesn't matter how many people or how much gear you have on board, there's enough engine and torque to handle the highways and byways with absolute ease. The Tarago Ultima handles well with minimum body roll. There's no doubt you'll notice the excellent dynamics and well-balanced suspension, which give us a smooth, effortless drive. Unlike most larger cars, Toyota has made sure it has a very tidy turning circle, and the sloping nose makes it easy to maneuver even in tight spaces. Getting back to the power for just a moment, the acceleration is really such a lovely surprise. So if you've been put off by the slow and deadly dull performance of some of the other people movers, then Toyota will put your mind completely at rest. Oh, and there's quite a few lovely surprises on the inside of Tarago as well. Let's pull up and have a quick look. Because it's a people mover doesn't mean you have to be without all the luxuries. There's a plush leather interior and a 22cm LCD rear display for backseat occupants. There's a rear air cooler, electric windows, auto headlights and wipers, rear privacy glass, AVN satellite navigation with Bluetooth compatibility, a hands-free compatible audio system and a smart entry and start system. There are also 7 SRS airbags, all the anti-skids and stability controls, and the heated front seats are enveloping and supportive with smooth electric adjustments. But for my money, it's the second row of seating where we should be, because you get these fabulous comfortable leather captain seats. You get a butte leather armrest, even cup holders in the back, and a fully integrated adjustable leather ottoman. Oh, stop it. This is perfect. Once around the park, please, sir. Very nice. The space and comfort make the Tarago a natural choice for large families, corporate uses like government cars and limos. And I love the added luxury features like the electric sliding doors, operated by a switch on the dash, a button on the key fob, or by the handle on the door. So Wayne, the Toyota Tarago Ultima, I'm very impressed.
It's great, Alan. Do you love the captain seats?
Absolutely fantastic.
And because it's the top of the range, it's got all the electric features, the sliding doors, electric sunroof. It's fantastic.
There's a lot going on. And because it's a Toyota, there's a fairly comprehensive servicing plan involved, isn't there?
That's right, Alan. So it's the Toyota Service Advantage, which basically is a cap price on every service, every 6 months or 10,000 kilometres. On the Tarago, $170 for each service.
Well, it's a great package. Well done.
Thanks.
The best place to see Toyota Tarago Ultima is at the new City Toyota, 216 Newcastle Street, Northbridge, or Sterling Highway, Netherlands. Go to citytoyota.net.au or follow the links from ZoomTV.
Oh, beautiful. Allan Simon's in a family mobile. Who would have thought? After the break, thanks to John Hughes, I'm in the all-new Ford. What is it? I'll tell you after the break here on ZoomTV. You know, I love all types of cars, four-wheel drive, sports cars, and good old Australian muscle. But the thing is, they're good at things and they're bad at things. Well, like a four-wheel drive, it'll let you go off-road, but try and park one, it's a little bit of a pain. And sports cars, try and take one of them off-road and chances are you're not going to get home. I mean, why doesn't a manufacturer introduce a small SUV that will allow you to zip through the city? Well, I'm proud to introduce you to the all-new Ford EcoSport, and I tell you, this little baby is going to change motoring. Trust me. To be frank, it looks like the shoe of a basketballer, but it is Ford's answer to a growing demand in Australia for smaller SUVs that are capable of both the city run and a bit of a knock around if you need it. Now, if you're a fan of Ford, you would have noticed that this car has hints of the Ford territory in its overall design and feel. If you're more astute, you would have noticed that this car is full of contradictions, and it all starts with its name. I mean, it's economical, but it's sporty. It's compact, but you don't feel cramped when you're driving it. And it's environmentally friendly, but I can tell you, this car is no hippie. But don't let first impressions fool you. There's much more to this car than meets the eye. Now, the EcoSport comes with a 200mm clearance, which is much more than standard cars. Now, that means that curbs and potholes are no longer an obstacle. That fact alone would make my mum a much better driver. The approach and departure angles are also impressive, so you won't be catching your bumpers on anything anytime soon. Now, most four-wheel drivers turn their nose up at SUVs because they're, well, not four-wheel drives. They're kind of cars pretending to be four-wheel drives. They're SUVs. Well, that's the thing with the EcoSport. It's not pretending to be a four-wheel drive. It's not pretending to be an SUV. It's an SSUV, a small sports utility vehicle. And what it has above a car is it's not going to stop you from leaving the city and experiencing a little bit of light off-roading. This car is going to let you put your toe in. You can get the EcoSport in a 1.5 litre regular petrol engine, but the one you really want is the 1.5 litre turbo that comes in either a 5-speed manual or the very popular 6-speed double clutch auto. It's super smooth with a large torque band, so you'll always be pulling with grunt. Now, when it comes to driving the EcoSport, it's best summed up by the word fun. I mean, it really is fun, and it's easy too. On busy roads, it's easy to manoeuvre. And when it comes to parking, it's just so simple. And it's followed up by the EcoSport's impressive interior. The glove box is refrigerated and it's big enough to hold 6 drinks. There's a sliding drawer underneath the passenger side seat and there's hidden pockets and shelves all over the cabin. Now, when it comes to luggage capacity, the EcoSport doesn't break any records, but you do get more than you'd expect. That's because Ford have bucked the current trends, removed the spare wheel out of the boot and stuck it here on the tailgate. Now, I know what you're thinking, that would make the tailgate very heavy to lift, but Ford have thought of that, and their answer is opening the tailgate to the side. Look at that, told you, more luggage space than you'd expect. Now, if you're looking for an indication that the EcoSport is the beginning of a new generation of car, then you need look no further than the Ford's Sync system. You know how drivers aren't supposed to touch the phone when they're driving, but some still secretly attempt to? Well, the Sync system in the EcoSport removes the temptation by letting you simply talk to your car, and it does everything from answering calls to changing the radio station for you. Bluetooth audio.
Bluetooth audio, please say a command.
Play.
Play all.
The EcoSport's LCD screen positioned in the centre of the dash is surrounded by all the latest technology you'd expect in a car as smart as this one. The cabin is comfortable, and if you choose the leather option, you'll find driving it a pleasure. Now, the EcoSport is a brand new model, and there's no better person to introduce the model than Mr. John Hughes himself. How are you, sir?
Thank you.
John, EcoSport. It's a new design from Ford. Love it.
Well, Ford started, if you wanted the large SUV, you go for the Ford Territory, then you come down a little bit to the Cougar. But if you want something still very family friendly, but not too big and amazingly economical, this all-new model is the EcoSport, as you say. It's the top of the range Platinum. It's got fantastic luxurious leather, 6-speed Tiptronic automatic, alloy wheels, cap price servicing. And the engine, which is a 1.5 turbocharged, which gives tremendous economy, has got the same power as you used to get not many years ago in the 3.3 6-cylinder Falcon. It's fantastic.
So it's everything you need, but in a compact size.
Exactly.
And that's what everyone's looking for at the moment.
Exactly, yes. And, you know, brand new with the new car warranty for $29,400 drive away. Pretty good value.
At a time where buyers are demanding the best possible fuel economy, versatility, and above all, safety. And let's not forget all the gizmos and gadgets they want thrown into their cars these days. The all-new small sports utility vehicle from Ford could be a big hit. To find out more about the Ford EcoSport, go to johnhughes.com.au or, of course, follow the links from ZoomTV. Now here on ZoomTV, I'm the first to admit when I get things wrong. I have the chance to do that right now. I tell you what, this here is not called the Ford EcoSport. It's actually got a silent H in it. So silent, they don't even print it on the back of the car. It's actually pronounced the Ford EcoSport. So if you're looking for one, make sure you get the Eco right. After the break, I'm in New South Wales, catching up with Paul Wakeling Motor Group. Thanks to Asanda. That's next on ZoomTV. When I was a kid, there was a deli around the corner from my house. Everyone knew the owners' names and, of course, they knew ours. But the best thing was they used to invest back to the community. They used to help out at sausage sizzles, community events and, of course, fundraisers. Well, that deli is long gone, but the way they operated has really stuck with me. Today, thanks to Asanda, we're in Campbelltown, New South Wales, to visit Paul Wakeling Auto Group, who I'm told has the same values as my old Corner Street deli. Difference being, they're still here. It's not all about money with the guys at the Paul Wakeling Motor Group. They're grateful for every customer that walks in the door, and they really do want to give something back, which is why the Paul Wakeling Motor Group is today one of the biggest and most successful dealerships in New South Wales. Paul Wakeling originally started the company in 1985 in what could only be described as humble beginnings. Well, this humble company has grown. Now they represent Volkswagen, Mitsubishi, Hyundai, Great Wall, and of course their original franchise, Holden. But that's not the success story. The success story is they started with 5 people and now employ more than 230. That's the mark of success. Over the years, the Paul Wakeling Motor Group has grown very steadily with consistent support from the community around them. They're very aware that they have a responsibility to provide a great service, top quality products and the right advice. Now, if you haven't guessed already, the Paul Wakeling Motor Group is family owned and operated. And even though Paul Wakeling is now semi-retired, it's headed up by his son, Scott Wakeling. Scott, thanks for having us all the way over here to Campbelltown.
Thanks for coming along.
No, I really enjoy going into dealerships and meeting and discovering what's different about them. What's different about your organisation?
The difference our dealership exhibits over many others is that our commitment to our local area is 100%. We do that with lots of charities and organisations, committees, boards, and especially our hospital program.
Okay, well I want to dig a little bit deeper with that in the hospital program. Yep. What makes you focus on hospitals?
Well, I guess we recognise the need. It stemmed from in the early days, our staff had a golf day and they started understanding they could raise money and they started donating that to the local hospital and a relationship developed. And Dad met with the general manager and over time they understood that there was a need for equipment that they couldn't normally access the funds to get. So each year they give us a list of equipment that they can't get through normal funding and we actually make those purchases for them. So the current purchases total over $750,000 and they're things that people need.
It's great that you do that, but I want to hear about your story. You're obviously heading up the family business. Yep. How did you get here?
You know, progressed along the path that the family set, which was, you know, you had to be a yards person and a parts delivery driver and go through all the steps and understand all the aspects of the business. So today, I'm now in charge of the business day to day and we run a business that has over 230 staff over 3 really big locations. So it's something we're really proud of as a family.
Now, is this your only dealership that you have?
No, well, in fact, we have 3. So Campbelltown is our largest site. That's the one we're at the moment. We have a dealership down in the Southern Highlands at Mossvale and Mittagong. And about 2 years ago, we completed construction on a new dealership at Smeaton Grange, which is a growth area of the Narelle and Camden area. So I reckon we should take a bit of a spin out there and have a look.
I'd love to see it.
Let's go.
I reckon you should show me.
Cool.
You got to drive though.
Well, Aaron, after that short drive, this is our Camden Valley Motors dealership.
Wasn't a short drive, thanks Scott, but I tell you what I am impressed with is this dealership. Everything that you do is consistent.
Yeah, thanks. We aim for consistency, and I guess that comes back down to having the best staff. And I know that whether it's me or my dad, every one of the 230 people that work for us, we can rely upon to do the right thing for our customers every time. So it's one of the things we're really proud of.
You know, the team at Wakeling aren't just dedicated to their local community. They're dedicated to you, the customer. Their team of highly trained technicians that work out of their state-of-the-art service centre will pretty much guarantee that your car is doing everything it should. And with over 40 bays, your car's going to be in and out that same day. Every service technician is thoroughly trained and specialises in one of the Paul Wakeling brands. That means that if you take your Holden to the Holden Service Centre, you'll get a Holden specialist working on your car with genuine Holden parts. In this day and age, when we're used to dealing with large, faceless corporations squeezing us for our hard-earned paycheck, it's just so refreshing to find a family business that takes customer service so personally. To find out more about the Wakeling story, go to paulwakeling.com.au or follow the links from ZoomTV. Now, Scott, I can't wait to hear the end of the Bo Peep story. Coming up after the break, I'm with this week's Asanda Celebrity Hitchhiker, George Houvardas from Pack to the Rafters. He's with me next on ZoomTV. Welcome back to ZoomTV. Now I'm joined by what I believe to be one of the most popular cast members of the Rafters that unfortunately just finished, George Houvardas. How are you, George?
Good, mate. How are you?
Mate, thanks for coming on. You've grown a lot of hair since I've seen you last.
Yeah, it doesn't take long, mate.
I'm very envious. Now, mate, you've a very popular role on Rafters. It would be fair to say that you were one of the most popular cast members without taking anything away from the whole team. How do you find life after Rafters?
Mate, look, to be honest, it was... Obviously, there was some sad times, you know, leaving a full-time job as an actor, and then we all became rather close. It was 6 years of work, so it was great. But to be honest, coming out, a bit of a relief too. It was time for a change, time for new challenges, new things. Yeah. But life after Rafters is exciting. That's all I can say about it. It's good.
Why do you think they stopped it? It was rating well?
It wasn't 7 as a day. It was more or less the actors.
Yeah.
We had all thought, pretty much they came to us and said, well, would you come back? And pretty much we all said, we'd come back if you finish your series off.
Oh, wow.
We finished on a great episode. People were happy about it. And we'll go down as being a high rating series.
Yeah.
Rather than a series that had a slow death. See, I'm after a discount. Oh. And don't think I've come running straight to you. Emma's already tried some Sparky friend of hers.
Going back before Rafters, what were you doing as an actor before that? I mean,
I was a builder.
And just what made you?
I was a builder, and I did acting back when I was a teenager, and always had a passion for it. Always loved it. Loved watching the Oscars, and then I went and did construction. Went to TAFE, became a builder. I think I was watching the Oscars 2003 or 2004, and I just said, because I'm not one for regrets, bugger it, I'm gonna give it a go. And I'm gonna study acting. Wow. And went into it, and I wholeheartedly went to a school called Screenwise. Ended up meeting the casting agent, Anne Fay, who happened to be casting a new show called Pack to the Rafters.
Wow.
And that's how it happened.
Wow, there you go.
Timing.
The rest is a dream. Someone else's dream as well, if they wanted to have the career. I mean, it's only been a short career so far.
Yeah, exactly.
But you've achieved a lot. An amazing...
Well, I like to, yeah, and look, I'm not blind to acting. I understand that what happened to me was very lucky. It doesn't happen. It very rarely does. And but you know, lucky for me, it did. And now I'm in a position where I can do something better. And I kind of I don't want to You know, it might be 2-3 years before I get another gig. As long as it's a good one, I'm happy.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, here's the next bit of my gig. Santa Fast 5. What is the car that you first ever owned?
Yeah, Datsun Corona.
There you go. Well, which...
Be a 64 model brought off my grandmother for $50.
What is your opinion of the worst car on the roads today?
Mate, my dad's driving a Tarago at the moment, Tarago Getaway, and that is the worst car.
Is it the dual colour? Has he got the dual colour?
No, it's all maroon.
Oof. And what is your opinion of the best car on the roads?
Range Rover Defender.
Oh, really?
New ones. The Defenders, mate, they're like built like tanks.
And what is the car that you currently drive now?
Prado.
There you go.
Toyota Prado.
The man.
Black.
What's your biggest fear?
Failing.
Wow.
Anything.
Wow. I almost would have picked that with you. Yeah, because good hair. Bring it back to the hair. Well, mate, you're not going to fail. You're going to do great. You came on Zoom. I really appreciate you taking the time out. That's it, people. We're done for another week. Time to bring the lazy boy down, but not too far, because there's plenty more coming here on 7 Mate. Now, if you'd like to know more about today's show, go to our website, zoomtv.com.au, and while you're there, download our free iPhone app. It'll give you access to hot deals and, of course, previous videos about anything that flies, drives and floats. Now it's time for a dare. If you have something cool that flies, drives or floats, we want to know about it. I double dare you to make a video between 1 or 2 minutes long, upload it to YouTube, and then email the link to IamAZoomaholic@zoomtv.com.au. Make sure you tell us why you love it so much. You never know, you could be on the show. Now, until next week, bye for now. Thanks for watching. But remember, whatever you do that Zooms, make sure you do it safe. And that's a wrap.